Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a place where ancient spiritual traditions just blossomed, right? And then
Oh,
global faiths arrive, but they don't displace things. They adapt, they intertwine.
exactly.
You've sent us this, well, rich tapestry of sources on India's religion. So our mission for this deep dive,
Yeah.
let's pull out those surprising nuggets, those key insights into this incredible mosaic of faith.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is how India became this kind of crucible for diversity.
Right.
I mean, it's not just the birthplace of four major world religions,
Yeah.
Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism,
Right.
but it's also got this remarkable capacity to deeply integrate and actually be profoundly shaped by two other global faiths, Islam and Christianity. It's a story of constant interplay, not just sort of coexistence side by side.
That idea of a crucible really resonates. Our sources point to Hinduism as maybe the world's oldest religion, over 4,000 years old. And it's unique, isn't it? Not founded by one person, but emerging as a fusion of beliefs.
That's absolutely key. It's a fusion, a synthesis. And that origin is probably why it has such incredible theological flexibility.
How so?
Well, because it's a synthesis, it can comfortably hold diverse views. You find everything from monotheism to polytheism. Often it's described as henotheistic,
Henotheistic, meaning
essentially worshiping one supreme deity, but still acknowledging other gods and goddesses exist. And underpinning it all are these core concepts, like samsara,
the cycle of reincarnation.
right, and karma, the whole cause and effect principle, which ultimately leads towards moksha, which is liberation from that cycle.
And the sources mentioned something pretty significant about karma and society, didn't they?
Yes, they did. What's particularly insightful, I think, is how the ideal of karma provided a kind of theological justification or explanation for the caste system. Your birth station was seen as a direct result of your actions in past lives.
A powerful connection there. Okay, shifting focus a bit, but still within India's homegrown traditions, Buddhism. The sources talk about a real paradox here.
Ah, yes, the Buddhist paradox in India. It's fascinating. So Buddhism starts in India, right? Siddhartha Gautama, 5th century BCE. And it gets a massive boost, huge patronage from Emperor Ashoka in the 3rd century BCE. Spreads widely.
Sounds like a success story.
Initially, yes. But here's the paradox. Despite these strong Indian roots and that early success, Buddhism's popularity really declined in India itself by around the 12th century CE.
Declined, but it spread elsewhere.
Exactly. At the very same time it was declining in India, it was thriving, putting down deep roots all across many other parts of Asia.
Wow. Strange how that works. Okay, what about Jainism, another ancient path? What's its core principle?
Jainism, founded by Mahavira around the 6th century BCE, though tradition traces it back further through Tirthankaras, is really defined by ahimsa.
Extreme nonviolence.
Extreme is the word. It's not just avoiding harm to humans and animals, but to plants, even microorganisms. It's fundamental. This leads to, strict vegetarian or vegan diet.
And there's that practice, salakana.
Yes, salakana. It's voluntary fasting unto death, seen as an ultimate act of detachment from the physical body. It's quite profound. And even within Jainism, you see diversity, like the Digambara, the sky-clad monks, and Svetambara, the white-clad, different on things like monastic rules, and even the potential for women's liberation.
Interesting internal debates, too. Okay, so from these very ancient roots, let's jump forward a bit to Sikhism, much younger, founded by Guru Nanak, Punjab, late 15th century. What makes Sikhism stand out in this mosaic?
Sikhism is really striking for, two main things, I'd say. First, it's strict, unwavering monotheism, ek onkar, the idea of the oneness of God. And second, it's explicit rejection of the caste system. It's fundamentally about equality, forming an egalitarian community. And for initiated Sikhs, the 5 Ks are crucial identity markers.
The 5 Ks, remind us.
Sure. Kes, uncut hair; kirpan, a ceremonial sword or dagger; karha, a steel bracelet; kanga, a wooden comb; and katera, special shorts. They're not just symbols. They represent a commitment, discipline.
Right. Now, India wasn't just about homegrown faiths. Islam arrived too, and the sources suggest it adapted in some really unique, perhaps unexpected ways.
Absolutely. Islam first arrived pretty peacefully, with Arab traders on the coast, 7th century. Later, yes, there were more assertive invasions, starting around the 10th century, leading to things like the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal Empire.
And the adaptation?
Well, here's the really interesting part. Islam's core message emphasizes equality, the unity of all believers in the Ummah. Yet in India, among some Muslim communities, a form of social hierarchy developed, kind of mirroring the caste system groups like Ashrafs, Ajlafs, Arzals.
So local structures influenced even a faith focused on egalitarianism.
It seems so. It shows just how powerful those pre-existing social structures were. And there was this historical tension, too, within Indian Islam. You had figures like Emperor Aurangzeb pushing for, let's say, pristine purity, upholding strict Islamic law. But then you had others, like Emperor Akbar or Prince Dara Shikoh, who famously translated the Upanishads into Persian, actively seeking common ground, trying to bridge gaps with Hindu traditions.
That tension is fascinating. Finally, Christianity. We often think of it arriving with European colonizers, but the sources say its roots in India are much, much older.
Much older. Tradition holds that the Apostle Thomas himself arrived in Kerala way back in 52 A.D. This established one of the world's oldest Christian communities, the St. Thomas Christians.
Wow, 52 A.D. So what happened when, centuries later, European powers did arrive?
That's where it gets dramatic. In the 16th century, Portuguese missionaries arrived. And, well, they tried to bring these ancient Eastern Christians under the authority of the Latin Catholic Church. This led to the Synod of Diemper.
A council to change their ways.
Essentially, yes, to Latinize their practices. But it sparked resistance. The community reacted strongly, culminating in the Coonan Cross Oath in 1653.
The Coonan Cross Oath.
A pivotal moment. Large numbers gathered and vowed they wouldn't submit to the Portuguese hierarchy. It caused a major split, a lasting schism, but it powerfully demonstrated the resilience of this ancient community, their determination to hold on to their identity.
So looking at this whole picture, what's the takeaway?
I mean, what does it all tell us? India's religious landscape isn't just diverse on the surface. It's really a living testament to this profound cultural, philosophical openness. Traditions didn't just sit side by side. They absorbed, they adapted, they reshaped each other in ways you might not expect.
It's a truly dynamic ecosystem, isn't it? So as you, our listener, reflect on this deep dive into India's really remarkable mosaic of faith, maybe consider this thought. What could India's long history of absorbing, adapting, sometimes even fundamentally changing external faiths, what might that suggest about the future of religious identity and cultural integration in our own increasingly globalized world?